Heyo everyone, Zion over here from Nintendo Life, and today we're here to share with you our review of The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker on the Nintendo GameCube, which is now playable through the Nintendo Switch Online service on Switch 2. Now, this review was originally written by PJ O'Reilly for NintendoLife.com, but was reworked into this video by me. Deciding where to put The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker in a ranked list of every Zelda game is a tough order. It's an interesting one, a divisive game for a few reasons, but many of us would still give it a top spot. Yeah, some may have balked at the cel-shaded graphics when they were first revealed, while others saw the whole wind conducting and sailing as a waste of time. But we absolutely adored everything about it. There may have also been the odd fan who'd sort of grown up with the grittier Ocarina of Time Link, who then didn't welcome this return to younger and more innocent cutesy days. But we're sure most people who felt that way got over it once they got their hands on it. This is a Zelda game that's come to be almost universally loved over time, with any perceived flaws or distaste for the design smoothed over once players got to grips with it. The succession of delightful dungeons, whose deviousness comes as a nice surprise when you consider the cute, colorful nature of director Eiji Aonuma's bold graphical overhaul. Like any great game in the series, The Wind Waker is a masterclass in how an adventure game should flow, in terms of narrative, how it doles out its new tools and upgrades, and how it constantly raises the bar with regards to dungeons that test you at every turn. Once you've gotten into rhythms and made peace with sailing around, settling into a slower pace at times as you journey around this most charming of worlds, it's hard not to be impressed with the art style, even if this kind of thing isn't normally your cup of tea. There's an enchanting quality, a Saturday morning cartoon sort of charm to this pirate adventure that, every time we sit down to play, it pulls us right back in. We want to shimmy along its ledges, grapple and swing on its ropes, glide with a big leaf through its undergrowth. Sure, that works. The Wind Waker in this GameCube form is missing the nips and tucks of the later Wii U HD revamp, but really it doesn't make that big of a difference, unless you truly feel the speedier sailboat was that big of a game changer. Many of us here at Nintendo Life Towers even prefer the look and the color palette of this original version, so you're not missing any major benefits in sticking with the GameCube form. And what a form it is! This is a wonderfully streamlined, manageable, and constantly engaging slice of Zelda. It doesn't bog you down in busy work like something like Tears of the Kingdom, and seeks to charm, surprise, and excite you at every turn. You'll come to love sailing your raft, and likely even love all the little repetitive rituals that are part and parcel of setting off for a new adventure. Parts can be tedious, but it's so unlike other games, having all this peaceful space to mill around in while you fill in the game's delightful chart of 49 puzzle-filled islands. What an adventure. The sandy beaches and windswept waves linger long in our memory, and so does this expressive and goofy version of Link. If you find yourself with any worries going in, we're sure you'll be put at ease after the initial tutorial segments are through. The most lively and acrobatic of heroes is also somehow an instant expert when it comes to combat, giving you a fresh and slick take on the series' lock-on battle system that sees you rolling around with swishy sword tricks, and it still feels brilliant to this day. If you come to Zelda for the unusual flow of smart new tools and upgrades that keep things fresh as an epic narrative unfurls, well, you're in for a good time. The dungeons and storyline here are some of the series' best. We won't say much, but aside from a few rushed moments towards the end, this is a game that manages to end in an interestingly shocking way. If you're here for cute towns packed full of strange shopkeepers, tons of collectibles, goofy side quests, and enough entertaining side stuff to double the standard campaign runtime, this old chestnut still has it where it counts. Zelda's kooky, eccentric brand of world building never lets you down, and that's not something that's changed with this entry one bit. Sure, with this GameCube release, you're losing out on the speedier sailboat, and you've got the god-awful late-game questathon that they shortened for the HD revamp, but again, that's not so much of a deal-breaker as a slightly annoying bit of padding. So apart from these hangups, from its gloriously sunny opening to its darker and deeper moments, The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker is a blast, and one of our favorite Zelda games overall. Many of us have replayed it a few times now, and it never loses the power to draw you in, once you're over the hump of the tutorial and into the meat of the delightfully devious dungeons on offer. What a timeless treat it is. The HD revamp on Wii U may have added a few nice quality of life tweaks, but the original GameCube version of The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker is still an utterly charming and hugely enjoyable romp. The flashy sword-based combat still sings, sailing around in your talking ship still feels epic, and the dungeons and narrative delights along the way ensure that this remains one of Link's finest outings. Indeed, bar the odd clunky mission and a rather slow mode of transportation, this is right up there with the very best pre-Breath of the Wild Zelda games ever made. We here at Nintendo Life give The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker on the Nintendo GameCube a 9 out of 10. Have you ever played The Wind Waker before, or are you curious to dive in for your first time? Let us know in the comments down below, and of course if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos like this, then why don't you change the direction of the wind and aim it straight towards that subscribe button, and then ring that notification bell to be notified whenever we put up new videos like this. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you to PJ for revisiting The Wind Waker for us. I'm Xeon from Nintendo Life. Stay safe out there, and we will see you all next time. Hey, thanks for hanging around. I kind of want to chat a little bit about my experiences with Wind Waker, if you don't mind. I played the N64 and Game Boy Zelda titles before I played the Wind Waker, but Wind Waker was actually the first title that I ever got the chance to pre-order and buy day one. And given the fact that I was 10 years old when the game launched, I quite liked the art style, and I loved the fact that you had this massive world to explore. Sure, Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask gave you quite, I wouldn't say open worlds, but a big place to play around in. Wind Waker truly felt like it had no boundaries. Finding a location on the map and charting a course, heading there and getting sidetracked by pirates, buried treasure, a new island that you hadn't yet been to. There were so many ways that the game could take a simple 1-hour play session and turn it into 2, 3, 4 hours. You just want to do that one more thing. All of this is then supported by a cartoonish cast of characters that are often quite lovable. It's a shame that the game wasn't taken as seriously by some people at launch, thanks to its art style, but I suppose that was during the time where the PlayStation 2 and the Xbox had everyone riled up with the console wars. But nowadays, it's truly impressive to see how well the cel-shaded art style has held up. These character models and environments truly shine on this Nintendo Switch Online version of the game. But one thing I found a little jarring about revisiting this game are the controls. Everything can be just a bit too clunky at times. I feel like Link is often bonking into things and getting caught on the geometry and just not moving around as nimbly as I wish he would. Even when it comes to something as simple as jumping towards a rope and swinging from platform to platform, Link doesn't always stick the landing. It can be difficult to line things like this up. It just feels cumbersome. And while it's been years since I've played the original, it's not something I remembered experiencing at all. Maybe I just had way more patience back then than I do now. But I think it's one of those things that after I spend more time with the game and I become more invested, I'll grow accustomed to it and I won't even notice it anymore, or it won't bother me anymore. Remembering that Link doesn't jump with a button, but that he jumps when you propel him with enough speed off of a ledge is a funny thing. And that is another thing too. I'm finding myself laughing quite often as I play through this game, whether it's the silly character designs, their word choices, or even just their voices and the sound effects that they make. And if you really miss the dungeons in the days of old, Wind Waker does not disappoint in that department. And now that it's available through the Nintendo Switch Online service on Switch 2, you have every reason to give it a go, especially now that it's playable on the go.